Okay. Verse 12. No, I'm sorry. Verse 13. Judge in yourselves. Is it comely that a woman pray unto God uncovered? Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? See, so you men out there with long hair, that's a shame. You know, that's a woman. That's confusion. If you're walking down the street with long hair and you're a man, hey, someone might mistake you for a woman, you know. Verse 15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory for her hair is given her for a covering. All right, and that's self-explanatory. Women should have long hair. I always tell my daughters, if you ever cut your hair, then, you know, stay at your mom's till your hair grows back. Verse 16. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of Yahweh. And actually, I'm going to stop there because I have other stuff to bring out. But showing you that, hey, there's a specific way a woman should look, and there's a specific way a man should look according to Yahweh. I'm going to go to Genesis 2 and 22. It says, and the rib which Yahweh the power had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. All right. And they were both naked, and the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. All right. So that's not dealing with, oh yeah, because Christians, they'll say, oh yeah, the woman came literally, God took a rib and all of a sudden there was a woman. No, there's parables and there's precepts, and you need to read the precepts. So let's go to it. Genesis 29, and we're going to go from 10. Let's read what the bone of his flesh is actually referring to. It says, and it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother and that he was Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. So basically they were cousins, right? And he kissed her. All right, and because we're in Babylon, everybody's freaking out saying, oh, he's with his cousin, you know. But you've been taught that, you know, being with your cousin is incest and is wicked, right? But indeed, the Bible says that is otherwise, all right? Y'all don't know the scriptures, so you don't know what's righteous and what's wicked. All right? That's why you need the prophets to teach you. Verse 12. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on 13. And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob's his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And then Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. All right, does that sound familiar? The bone of my flesh? Because why? It explains to you that Laban, his uncle, Jacob's uncle, was saying, hey, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And what he means by that is he's his family. He's his relative, a close relative, his nephew in this case. But that's what it was. Eve, Eve, she was not a rib and then turned into a woman. No, she was the bone and his flesh, meaning she was Adam's cousin. All right, more than likely that was his cousin, but it was a relative close to him. That's what that means, all right? The rib and the bone of my flesh, all right? This is going off the actual original lesson, but I wanted to explain that. Verse 15, and Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? So he's like, hey, we're family, so how are we going to work this out? Verse 16. And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. So basically what it's saying is, hey, Leah wasn't everything nice to look at, but Rachel was, all right? And we know they both became, the forefather Jacob's wives. And just like it's natural, a man is always going to prefer a beautiful woman over a woman who's not as beautiful. It's nature, all right? Verse 18, and Jacob loved Rachel. Why did he love her? Because what? We just read in 17. She was the fine one, all right? She was like Halle Berry, The other one was like, she wasn't as good looking, man. So let's keep reading. Verse 18, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And she was younger too. Don't that make sense? She was fine and young, and while Leah was older and not as pretty. How many of y'all have fell in love with some woman who had it going on? She was physically beautiful. You had others, maybe you weren't as attracted, but they treated you good. It's human nature. Verse 19. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than I should give her to another man. Abide with me. So even Laban, in this time, is Laban wicked because he's given his daughter, who is the cousin of Jacob, to